Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
It is certainly tense. People are upset.
They're struggling, looking for work.
These are tough times. How about you?
So that was a clip from The Joker. That was actually a fantastic film, I think. But today's topic is actually deepfakes.
Yeah, so I firstly want to point out to people that are listening to this podcast that there is a video attached to that intro, so go check it out on the YouTube and stuff.
So basically, it shows. So the original actor was Joaquin Phoenix, and it has Jim Carrey in the place of him instead. But it looks so convincing. It looks really, really convincing. To the point where I actually think Jim Carrey could have played a pretty good Joker.
Yeah, when I saw it, I would have picked Jim Carrey as being the actor for that role.
Like, can you notice any artifacting around the edges of the face or anything like that? Because it looks really, really seamless.
Yeah,
It genuinely looks like that is Jim Carrey. So we've been meaning to do this episode for a while, and it's surrounding deepfakes. And so for people that don't know what a deepfake is, basically it's where a person's image or their face is replaced by someone else. And it's actually caught like a lot of people's attention. A lot of people have been posting like their own deepfakes. You can get apps now that generate your own deepfakes through an app. And there's certain algorithms, certain plugins that you can use on video editing software that can, I guess, extrapolate data from people's likeness through, I don't know, some sort of like biometric scanning or 3D scanning, and they superimpose that onto another subject. But I've always felt like stuff like this existed for a while. Like, what about you? I've always felt like this has always been a capability for a while now. Like, it's the fact that it's entered the public consciousness is not really a new thing, as usual. Right?
Well, I mean, I always feel that this sort of technology stemmed from essentially starting from audio.
Yeah, like
technology.
A signature that the voice has, it can actually pick up and match that.
Yeah, and then using a computer to be able to alter a voice.
I'll admit, I'm going to sound a bit gross, but like the first time I ever really saw deepfakes in action was porn. Like, I mean, like, like that was the first time that really blew my mind with how realistic it looked. You know, these people on, I think Pornhub had this influx of these people that were putting celebrities' faces onto porn scenes. But I wanted to go into like, what is the potential when you basically, if you take that a step further and you insert things like AI. Remember the neural net that Google were playing around with, where they had a massive database of images and it could actually paint or visualize images for itself. And that really is, to me, where it gets crazy. Once you insert things like machine learning into the deepfake algorithm, like you could actually generate infinite number of images. Yeah.
Was it Deep Dream?
Deep Dream, yeah. Yeah, Deep Dream, and you know how it was like if it couldn't interpret a certain batch of shapes, it would like insert or superimpose other things. There we go. Yeah. So it started putting like dogs in the sky and weird things like that. Really psychedelic things. Like yeah.
So you're saying that this is all AI created images?
AI, yeah, like the AI actually machine learned and created those images based off of algorithms.
Oh yeah, I remember this because when it came out, a lot of people were saying how looks like a very LSD induced.
Absolutely, yeah, and
images.
A lot of people that have experimented with DMT say it's the fractals, the imaging is very similar to being on a psychedelic trip, and it's absolutely bizarre that when you insert machine learning into these algorithms, that machines as well come up with images that we're seeing. That is fucking freaky to me.
Well, that's almost similar to that this person does not exist.
Yeah.
.com site.
Yep,
It's
yep.
coming out now.
Which is actually what I wanted to go into next, which was this website that really caught my attention, which we brought up a couple of times, which is thispersondoesnotexist.com. And this is a great example of the what they call a GAN, G-A-N, Generative Adversarial Network. That's when you integrate machine learning into...
Is that Jeff?
Is that Jeff? Looks like Jeff. When you insert machine learning into these algorithms where the AI has a bank of images to draw from, you can actually create people that don't exist. And for people that are watching, they look very convincing. I mean, how many? I feel like
How many missing persons photos are just taken from this website?
how many fake social media accounts could you create with technology like this? You could actually, what they call astroturf, entire accounts that don't really exist. And this is you found this lady quite attractive, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's very attractive.
Very cute.
But
She's not real.
she's not real.
Just like all the women in my life.
What? What? Including your mum?
She's not a real person.
Well, are you a real person? But look at that. Okay, I can kind of see some stuff around the eyes where I'm like, okay, I can see some shading and blurring. Right? It's been mirrored. Her eyes are perfectly symmetrical.
But if you were to just put this up as a social media image, something that someone sees on their phone, on their computer, it would pass as a person.
Absolutely.
Completely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like if I glanced at that, that's a real person for sure. Yeah. But I mean, there are just really quickly there are positive ways you can use this. I mean, if you're designing a game, or if you are animating, let's say, a cartoon series, and you need a whole bunch of extras to play in the background, like this is not only applicable to photos because animators have actually used this as well for characters in video games, animations, and stuff like that, which I think is insane. But, I mean, doesn't that blow your mind that this shit exists? Like...
Well, I mean, it doesn't really blow my mind that it exists because I think the way that technology has developed so much, like it's believable. Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Like all, I mean, I'm not going to say it's. I mean, yes, a deep fake, but it's real.
Yeah.
This technology, this stuff we have, it's all real. We know that. So it doesn't really blow my mind because of how much we know that technology is advancing.
Yeah.
What blows my mind is the potential applications and where it gets used that we don't actually know about. Like we're saying, you make a fake social media account or use an image in a news article.
Yep.
Or a missing persons on the side of a fucking Wheaties box.
Or like we touched on before, like fake social media influencers. You know how that's the big thing now? Like social media influencers, people that have large followings. And literally the entire profile is like just photos of their face, right? Where it gets really creepy is when you try and think of like where it could have been applied before. Like, not to mention the potential, but where it could have been applied before. Like, do you remember that scene in like Star Wars? One of the guys was completely CGI. Let's have a look at this for really, really quick. This is Grand Moff Tarkin. Now, I picked up on it immediately, but
I mean, yeah.
for some people, it's very convincing.
I was going to say, like, when you're watching it in the moment, you're not really paying attention to it. But afterwards, you do notice, like, I suppose a bit rubbery. Like, he's got a sort of a rubbery texture to his face. So on the left is the original, and on the right is the new one. So you can kind of see there, like, definitely in the comparison, you can tell that there's just a difference in the texture of the skin. Looks rubbery, doesn't look naturally fluid.
Yep. A little bit jerky almost as well. But still very close. I wonder how many times we've actually watched a movie and like not even realized that the person was not actually there.
Yeah, well, okay, so now I would like to just point out not a difference, but just an understanding of obviously that's CGI stuff. So that's completely created from scratch, designed to be that person. Whereas a deep fake, it's essentially the ability to manipulate videos and change essentially what is happening and who is in the video.
That's right.
So it's taking an existing video or an existing scene or whatever and actually manipulating it and creating a new version of it, completely new version.
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
Do we like?
Let's do it. Yeah. Let's do the Back to the Future bit because it's absolutely fascinating.
This is crazy. Like,
How's your head?
Good. Fine.
Oh, I've been so worried about you ever since you ran off the other night. Are you okay?
What's hurting?
I'm sorry, I have to go. Isn't he a dreamboat?
Doc, she didn't even look at him.
This is more serious than I thought. Apparently your mother is amorously infatuated with you instead of your father.
Whoa, wait a minute. Doc, are you trying to tell me that my mother has got the hots for me?
so you can tell, like, it's obviously the same audio, the same voices and stuff, but those faces, holy, like,
I can't even tell. Yeah. If you would, like I said before, if you showed me this and I had not seen the original, I would think this is real.
oh, absolutely.
This is so real.
Like, it's Look at the two. It's just like, holy shit.
Completely seamless. Yeah.
Ah.
So I wanted to get into really quickly what are some of the ways that they could use deepfakes, or people could use deepfakes in a malicious way, let's just say in a deceptive way. And I mean the potential is limitless. You could just real quickly, I mean, how much evidence in a courtroom
Yes. Now, but
could you fake?
before we get to that, I
Okay.
want to just something that bugs me. Something bugs me is the way that you said that, how can it be used in a malicious way?
Mm-hmm.
And I start to think, well, how can you use it in a good way? Like, what would be any good reason to alter and change a scene, a clip, a movie, to have someone else do something or someone else say something? Now, we haven't actually gone into the whole audio manipulation and the actual, there's face tracking technology involved as well to actually manipulate, which we have more stuff next. But essentially, I can't think of a good reason as to why you'd want to do that. And something that's coming out now, deepfakes are becoming kind of popular to the point that there are news people out there talking about it. And the word that you mentioned was normalize it. And the way that people sort of become used to the idea that this deepfake technology is out there and it's being used. And they make it into a fun thing. Like, oh, look at these YouTubers that are changing the videos and doing all this stuff. Like, okay. But for what reason? Because if you're going to tell me the only reason is because people want to have something fun, oh, this is fun because I've just changed Michael J. Fox to be Tom Holland. Huh?
Yeah.
No. Like, I feel like the only real reason behind it, the only driving force behind it would be some kind of malicious intent.
Yeah. Yep. Which leads me to believe almost that this was already being used, and what if they had to leak it to normalize it because maybe they were afraid of maybe being exposed? And like you were saying, like I don't, other than entertainment purposes and humor and comedy, I don't see any positive way and positive reason why you would want to stitch another person's face onto someone else.
Yeah. Now, this something that stemmed. I mean, now we're going back to about 2003, 4 or whatever, in which some certain videos came out on the news in the public. But be damned if you can ever find them now. But these are the Osama bin Laden videos that came out after 9/11, in which he was, claiming responsibility and death to America and infidel Allah Akbar crap, which was so clearly CGI.
Did you feel that when it came out?
As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And And this is way before we even knew what this back in 2000. I don't think we even knew each other back then. 2002,
Possibly
3.
not. Yeah.
But when I saw these videos, I knew straight out that was fake CGI stuff.
But you see how naive we were just even 15, 20 years ago, like with what is what is possible.
I think
like we wouldn't have even thought that deepfakes were a thing.
Well,
back
I
then.
think
No way.
it was kind of a disbelief. Like we didn't believe that something like that was actually happening. Like to me, I remember looking at these videos and going, "Well, that's clearly CGI. That's clearly fake." But I have no sort of reason behind it. I have no sort of understanding as to why or how or anything. Which nowadays we sort of know exactly what's going on. But damned if you can ever find those videos now. Like I said before this podcast, I searched a lot of sites that I didn't want to go to try and find those videos. Can't find them anywhere.
Yeah,
they've been deleted. They've been taken away.
and that's a whole other rabbit hole. The whole disappearing of evidence.
But surely no. This was the height of the terrorist shit.
9/11.
Guarantee
Yeah.
so many people would have seen these videos and would remember them.
Absolutely.
Seeing plastered all over the news sites. And I guarantee that some people would have looked at them at the time and thought, that looks fake, but I have nothing to back that up. Whereas now, how many years later, like 20 years later, it's coming out now, this technology that they had, the fact that we know that shit can be done.
There was no frame of reference. We didn't even know that possibility existed in the first place. I'd be very curious to see how much in that era, that 9/11, in the wake of 9/11, the hysteria, the fear of the Middle East, the boogeyman, how much in that era could have been faked? How many videos could have been manipulated to sell that war?
Now to go on from that into what we were talking about before about having not just superimposing an image, someone's face onto a video, but also manipulating the audio as well.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or, how about this, simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now,
what do we know? How do we know when something is a deep fake of a deep fake? Or how do we know, like, what I mean is, so we look at these videos and we say, okay, well, that's fake. It's a fake video. But at what point do people try and flip the switch and say that a deepfake video is actually a real video? Where they can, sort of saying or using the deepfake argument as a defense, saying, well, that video that you just saw is a deepfake.
Absolutely, yeah. It could be used two ways in court. It can be used to manipulate evidence. And on the other hand, it can be used that when evidence is brought forward, you say it's fake.
A video of the incident. Well, I mean,
like the alleged stabbing of whatever. If you just produce that, that's enough.
But I mean, things like video, like CCTV footage gets used, and all that sort of stuff gets used. But how much of it is? How possible is it now that half of that shit is fake?
Absolutely, yeah. And like you were saying, like it could be used to create something that never happened. But on the other hand, if something were to leak, they could say, no, that's a deepfake.
Yes. Like if videos, I mean, do we touch, I don't want to touch Anthony Weiner's laptop.
No, we don't, yeah.
But if
I don't want to die.
If stuff came out, like, it's like, if videos came out that could destroy someone, all they have to turn around and say, oh, it's a deepfake. And now that it's been so normalized that people know what deepfakes are, and we all know what it is, and we celebrate it because of Pornhub, where we can watch our celebrities get fucked, that they can turn around and say, oh, it's a deep fake, well, then it's like where...
it just cancels the argument immediately. We just say it's a deep fake, right? Yeah. Which is... it brings me to, like, the timing of this, because we video now is considered evidence, like you said, right? And what if you're in a situation where what is being leaked is a video? That's the only evidence that you have, but it can be dismissed as a deepfake. What if something came out that showed a very high-ranking politician or celebrity,
Authority figure.
doing some horrendous shit, and they just go, no, that was faked.
Yeah.
Right? So it can go both ways. It can go both ways. What we discussed there about this not knowing whether a video is real or not, Facebook have gone to extensive lengths to try to research techniques that can tell whether something is deepfaked through through a kind of digital fingerprint that the video will have. Do you want to let's just play this from this is from, I think it's from Facebook's own website, their own blog about artificial intelligence. But yeah, just play this for a sec.
AI.facebook.com wants to show notifications. No, block that.
Sorry, we just got...
This page isn't available. The link you followed may be broken or the page may have been removed.
What?
Jeff, what did you do?
Jeff, you're supposed to give us links at work. So, put some salsa on it. Here we go.
Here's how to make the perfect pour-over coffee. First,
this is Jane.
water to 200 degrees.
Jane is a deepfake. Deepfakes are realistic AI-generated videos that show real people doing and saying fictional things. Current deepfake detection methods can identify telltale signs like boundary artifacts, shadow inconsistency, or double eyebrows. But the technology to produce deepfakes is rapidly evolving, so we need to work on building more advanced techniques to detect when videos have been altered. One of the biggest limitations is the lack of a realistic data set that can be used to test out new detection technologies. So Facebook is commissioning a first-of-its-kind data set using paid actors for the AI community to use. It's part of the Deepfake Detection Challenge. Our hope is that by helping the AI community come together, we can anticipate challenges of this emerging technology.
And voila, you have your perfect pour-over coffee. Enjoy.
Okay, so that was Facebook basically telling us that they're researching technology to pick up signatures of deepfakes. And they are working with DARPA and the Pentagon and a lot of big name companies to suss out a signature that can basically detect deepfakes. So just really quickly, I wanted to say that the whole fact-checking climate that we're under now, I do think that we're going to have this sort of tick of approval to say that a certain video is genuine.
I was just about to say, this is the fact-checking of video now.
Yeah, I think
media.
And I think that we're onto something a little bit early. This is going to be really good. I think this is going to be very normal to see, let's say, an interview with a politician or celebrity, and you'll see a verified tick saying this video is genuine, has not been tampered with.
But see, this is where it drives me. First of all, you know, the fact checking of video. I mean, it's kind of like being able to say, well, this photo has been photoshopped. It's not a real photo. But at what point that's what I mean. When does a video come out that is actually real, that gets flagged as a deep fake? Well, where do you argue? You have no basis to argue because it's already been flagged by these so-called technology authorities such as Facebook.
The gatekeepers, right?
The gatekeepers. I mean, I don't want to digress into the hypocrisy of Mark Zuckerberg at the moment, who talked bad about Twitter for the whole fact-checking, saying that these social media platforms and technology shouldn't be sort of dictating the truth or sort of stuff. It's exactly what fucking Facebook is doing. I mean, that fucking pissed me off when I heard Zuckerberg say that. But, you know, that's what I mean. When a video comes out, you know, there could be a video of Donald Trump coming out saying, oh, you know, the deep state's real and all these people are going down, Hillary Clinton's being arrested, all this sort of stuff. And then all they have to do is just say, oh, no, it's a deep fake. He didn't actually say that. It's not real. But what basis do we have to fucking argue that?
Absolutely, because at least with fact-checking, okay, we have some information at our disposal that we can look into, right? But you're absolutely right. When one company holds a patent to this secretive, like, deepfake signature, you are taking their word for it. You are taking their word as gospel when they say that something is fake or real. So once again, we're placing our trust into these companies to essentially, I guess, we've got to take their word for it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Even worse than the fact-checking climate that we're under now.
And the whole normalizing of it, you know, just it makes people so. What's the word? It's conditioning. It's getting people used to it, used to the fact that these deep fakes exist.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, when a video of John Podesta fucking molesting some little kid comes out and says it's a deep fake, well, we got to fucking believe it.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I fear that. I feel like the sudden emergence of deepfakes is for a reason. I don't think things insert themselves into the public consciousness randomly. I feel like this whole surge of deepfakes is preempting possibly that a lot of nasty fucking videos are about to drop. I feel like a lot of shit's going to be exposed. And they need the cover of deepfakes in order to dismiss it all.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Popularizing it on these channels like the List Show TV, that 3 deepfake video examples that will blow your mind, and then they almost turn it into a fun thing. Like, oh, here's who do they put on? Elon Musk on Charlie Sheen's face, or here's Kevin Hart as Mr. T, or Hopper on fucking Face of L, Ryan Reynolds as Willy Wonka. They just turn it into this, just a fun thing. Like, oh, people that make these deepfakes are jokesters, comedian type people that make fun videos. But then when a real video comes out that has been deepfaked, it goes under the radar, but then a video that comes out that could be real can be argued as a deep fake.
Absolutely,
it's just it's unbelievable.
And I would even go as far as to say that they are probably inserting really, really bad deep fakes. Like, they're popularizing the not so good ones, so that when the real ones hit you in the news, you can't tell because you're too busy thinking like, oh, if it's a deepfake, it'll have these. I know what to look out for if it's a deepfake.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the media is using way more advanced technology, 10 years ahead of what we have. The dangerous trap is a lot of people are going to very casually look at deepfakes and not look at where they could be really used. Like we said, to sway elections, to have a missing person that's not real, to have a bunch of victims that are not real, to have astroturfed social media accounts that are not real, to have certain people say things that aren't real.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely insane.
Well, I'd like to think that enough people are intelligent enough and sort of alert enough to be able to tell when something's fake, but not just be able to tell the video is fake, but to tell when the stuff surrounding it. So we all see this fact-checking stuff going on with social media. When these video fact-checking comes out, when people start flagging certain videos as being fake videos, it's only going to be a matter of time before some serious video comes out which can really destroy someone.
Yep.
And if that gets defended saying that's a deep fake video, don't believe it. If you fucking believe it, then I feel sorry. Because if you don't even question, you don't even consider the possibility that the whole video could be fake. Or even the video that is not fake, that is argued as being a deep fake.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, yeah, and like I was saying before, like, if something... I've always said that fact-checking really... Who it really hurts is whistleblowers, journalists. Those are the people that are getting really hurt by this whole fact-checking things.
Yeah.
Like, because you could just say that whatever's unpopular that's actually true, you could just dismiss it as being fake.
If anyone, I want to end this on a positive note. I'm talking to these content creators out there. if anyone wants to deep fake this entire episode and make me look like Rob Lowe,
I've got in big bold letters here intuition, and what I mean by that is
gut feeling.
I think people like we were saying about with the Bin Laden videos, right? When you look at something, if you have a gut feeling that you're a bit suspicious, something doesn't look quite right, you may be right. It could be completely fake. And I like to think anyway that people have a hardwired intuition that will tell them that whether something's fake or not. And I ride on that a lot, but
Actually, I'm probably destroying that film.
my final thought.
Okay, but we are going to go out on a final thought of
Sylvester Stallone.
Stallone
as
as Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone.
Get the hell out of here. AC said you had some dough for me.
That's fucking insane.
AC said 10%.
Okay.
Hey,
Hey,
what do you see?
Adrian! You snakes.
You filthy animal.
I'm gonna give you to the count of 10. 1, 2, 10.
Alrighty, everyone, take care. It's crazy times out there. Like the intro to the podcast, things are getting crazy out there, but everyone take care.
Check us out on Instagram. We might still be on Facebook. I'm not too sure. Twitter, hit us up.
Hell yeah.
All of these episodes so far are all completely deep fakes. Daryl's not really Asian.
Not really. Yeah, I'm not even really here.
And I am a woman.
And John's a woman. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Take care.